been known to cause trouble. Lucifer is considered a primary example of a quote-unquote fallen angel. And so you look at this and go, well, how can an angel be bad? Well, the fact is that some, in fact, are. But at the highest level, when we're talking about the seraphim, they are entirely benevolent. Again, beings of pure light and pure love who have the highest interest of humankind in their being.
And what do you mean by the light body effect?
Well, here's this ultimate ancient secret that all of us in the human body are in sort of a pupal form. If you think of us sort of like the caterpillar, there is a light being within us that is akin to the butterfly. And what all of the ancient traditions describe, and every spiritual or sacred tradition around the world has a name for this next level of evolution, this metamorphosed or morphed human that has achieved the light body. It's called the body of bliss. It's called the golden body, the light body, the resurrection body. Every tradition has a name for it. Some say it's composed of a supramental substance. Others describe it as a pure light energy. But what we're talking about when we talk about the light body is something that is within all of us that we essentially wear on the inside, but which through transformation of our mind, body, and spirit, we can begin to wear on the outside. And when we wear it on the outside, it's portrayed in sacred art as either a rainbow body, being rainbow-colored light, or an energy field, usually egg-shaped, that is filled with bright white light.
Would the rainbow portion of this light body, would that be considered your aura, or is that something else?
The aura might be a manifestation of it, but usually when they, especially in the Tibetan tradition, when they describe the rainbow body, what they say happens, George, is that the human body, the vibration of the human body through the acceleration of the soul's vibration can be spun into a vortex of pure energy that manifests as 5-colored rainbow light. So it goes beyond the aura to where the lamas can actually transform themselves into these beings of rainbow-colored light, and then in Tibetan artwork, they're portrayed within rainbow rings. And these rings are actually vibration. The ring is a vibration. It's also concentric rings, or portrayed as concentric rings, which indicate a vortex. And so I believe that what's happening here is that as they achieve this rainbow body, they spin themselves into this ring or vibration that actually can open up a vortex or a portal through which these beings then can travel the cosmos.
Are there people who can see these light bodies?
I have a friend who recently gave me a photograph of the light body.
Really?
She told me that in Tibet, of course, not much of this is going on in Tibet right now, but when in India and elsewhere, when the rainbow body is manifested, if only one person sees a lama, one of the Tibetan masters, transform into the rainbow body, if only one person sees this happen, they're not allowed to talk about it. But if a group sees it, then it's considered a legitimate manifestation. And in this instance, they actually took a photograph of a being transforming into the rainbow body. This photo was tested by Kodak and legitimized. And in this photo, what we see is this almost spinning vortex of rainbow-colored energy, just like you see in the Tibetan images of the rainbow body.
That is amazing. And do these rainbows, are they the same color for everybody, or do they change?
They're usually, they're 5-colored, and they're very consistent in the artwork. And what I've gone about doing is showing that, and you can see this on my website under my new presentation, Soul Rising, where I compare the Tibetan images of beings who have achieved the rainbow body, they're in the rainbow ring, with the resurrection images of Jesus, who is also shown in his rainbow ring or sitting on a rainbow. The rainbow in this case indicates not only the fully transformed human, but it also represents a method of travel. It's a bridge, a rainbow bridge linking Earth with the heavenly realms.
And in your latest work, Soul Rising, you have looked at this transfiguration of the human being to the point where, are we in a period now, William, where more people are at this point where they understand how to build their own soul, how to make it work?
We're absolutely in that period, and part of what's sparking this is the internet. People have instant access to these sacred texts and to this imagery that they've never had at any point in history before, and this is what is going to change everything.
Let's talk more about that when we come right back on Coast to Coast AM. William, I find it fascinating, too, in ancient pictures, always depicting Jesus and very spiritual beings. They're always shrouded in light, aren't they? Always.
Yes,
Is that what you're talking about, this rainbow of body of light?
That's exactly what I'm talking about, especially in the case of Jesus when we see the images of the resurrected Jesus. When he's come out of the tomb, he's either completely engulfed in light, white light, or most often, and I think the most technically accurate ones are when he's surrounded by a rainbow energy or ultimately sitting on a rainbow. This is called the glory body or the glorified body. And we pick up the pun here and think glory, glow ray. They are literally glowing rays. They are glow-ray-fied beings. They have achieved the next level, and as a consequence, they literally glow rays. They're called the illuminated ones, the Illuminati. These are some of the terms, and in fact, the Apostle Paul says that we are all in the process of morphing into these glory bodies or illuminated bodies or light bodies.
Did somebody teach them these techniques, or did they always have this glow?
Well, this is one of the great and most fascinating questions and mysteries concerning the rainbow body. I mean, if you go back to the Tibetans, who seem to be the real authority on this, while in Christianity you see the images and you're offered the story of a man, Jesus, who turned into or resurrected himself into the rainbow body. In Tibet, they have a whole virtual kind of corpus of information and knowledge and techniques about how to do this. And the Tibetans are crystal clear about this, that this technology, this spiritual technology we're describing, did not come from Earth. It's an extraterrestrial teaching that is in fact taught in 13 star systems in addition to our own. Now, the Tibetans don't name those 13 star systems, but I've gone out and as I'm talking with audiences, people readily can develop a list of star systems based on their own research that we believe encompass these or are members of this colony or federation of star systems, and that would include Sirius, Cygnus, Orion, Arcturus, Ursa Major, Lyra, the Pleiades, and Draco. So that's 8 right there. And the Tibetans are teaching us that we are a member of a federation of an additional 5 for a total of actually 14 star systems, 13 beside our own, 14 including our own.
It's fascinating that most of those star systems you just mentioned have always been pinpointed as possible sources of ET visitations.
You got it. And that's what makes this so fascinating, because the Tibetans teach that we can turn ourselves into beings of light. I mean, the question is that has always been at the apex of any kind of first contact kind of scenario, especially as pointed out by Dr. Carl Sagan in his work Contact, is that the distances are so far. That how are these beings coming and going at these vast distances? Are they coming in metallic spaceships? Do they have another mode of travel? And of course, it was Sagan and Kip Thorne who invented, based on Einstein's work, the idea of the traversable wormhole is one way in which these vast distances could be traversed. Well, my work with the rainbow body actually came about when I was at a UFO conference a few years ago, and a wonderful couple came up to me and they told me that they knew the Dalai Lama. They both had PhDs from the Harvard Divinity School. They translated Tibetan texts. They lived in India. They were experts on the rainbow body. And one thing that the Tibetans never would answer to them, that my work answered for them, was that once these lamas achieve this next level, once they achieve the rainbow body and can travel to these other 13 star systems, how do they get there? And what they said after watching my presentations about the ancient Egyptians and their understanding of stargates and wormholes is that they travel through wormholes, that according to Sagan and others, naturally permeate the universe. And what they have learned is how to transform the body, the earthly body, into a heavenly body and traverse the stars.
That is something. And this travel, instantaneous?
Yes, instantaneous. Not only can they travel interdimensionally and through these wormholes, but then they can also manifest in our world. Look at the story of Jesus. Over a dozen times after he achieved the next level, this resurrection body, this rainbow body or glory body, he could then manifest in this world, even taking on physical form. And this is something that you find in these stories of these beings who have achieved the next levels, that they have the ability to flip-flop, if you will, or toggle in between the material realm and the immaterial realm, the light realm.
You cite a story of Chief Seattle who lived back in the late 1700s to 1800s. Tell me about that.
Well, this is one of the kind of the guiding stories of the ecology movement, in that back in the 1780s, Chief Seattle is believed to have said that when the earth is sick, the animals will begin to disappear. When that happens, the warriors of the rainbow will come to save them. And the Hopi have picked up on this as well, and they talk about the rainbow warriors. This is part of Native American tradition. And what I wonder is, are we talking about a legion of angels, the rainbow warriors, of these ascended beings, of these transformed humans who have achieved the rainbow body, who will be manifesting in our world at this time in order to guide us and lead us into a better future?
Well, that's very possible, that we're being watched and guided right now, isn't it, William?
I have no doubt about that. In fact, I hear people telling me, ever since I started talking about the seraphim, and people have been coming to my presentations, they've been describing what they think of as manifestations of these beings, because once you start to key into this idea that there is a group of beings that have transformed themselves into light spheres or to this rainbow body, then the next step is that they're still interacting with us, and that they may account for some of these apparitions that people see. For example, the Mother Mary, when she appeared in Mexico, Our Lady of Guadalupe appeared as a rainbow being. Our Lady of Fatima, she appeared as a rainbow being. Why are they always shown with the rainbow around them? And what I propose is because they have achieved the rainbow body. And then when they manifest in our world, people are perceiving them as having rainbows around them.
Are they extraterrestrial, or are they merely just from other dimensions, for example?
Well, by definition, yeah, they would be. Some are extraterrestrial. Some are Earth humans who have made this transformation. One of the terms the Buddhists use is the term bodhisattva. These are beings who have achieved this next level, maybe have achieved the rainbow body, but have agreed to stay and assist others until all who choose to go before them have left.
In Soul Rising, your latest work, you talk about Enoch, Elijah, again, also others that have achieved this ascension into the rainbow of light. Mm-hmm. How were they taught this, William, in your opinion?
Well, in the case of Enoch, who's the classic example, he is an Old Testament elder. He is believed to have lived before the flood in a civilization that was destroyed. Think Atlantis. He's a researcher. He's presented as a researcher. He's a master of esoteric lore, an elder, a sage, a wise man. And he gets a call from the Archangel Michael, is the one who assisted him in his first